therapeutic, don't you think?
Yeah, you got to grab your coloring book. Well, if you don't have one, you need maybe an adult coloring book. You've heard of adult coloring. It's kind of been a trendy thing lately, but this is really good for our brains. We have Dr. Desilva with us this morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
This does a lot that we really need. So the adult coloring book, it's not just a trend, it's probably a necessity in today's world.
You know what, it might be. It's so different than children's coloring books, you know. The children's coloring books, they have normal pictures,
Let's
big
mention
pictures.
your books real quick, because you have the psychiatrist guide, and you have two different books, the teen addiction before it starts, and then helping parents reach their depressed tween. So author as well as an expert here on our mental health. And then the books for the adults are much different than the children's.
Yes, they're so intricate, and they really take in
some time.
the abstract. Yeah, and they help you use your right brain and your left brain and connect it so that you think better and you can problem solve better. And I really discovered this when I was writing my second book, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I was learning and reading all this information about addiction and neurology and psychology, and then trying to put it all together into a parenting book. I actually was kind of overwhelmed, and so I looked at my coworkers, and they were using these coloring books at work.
Oh, they were.
So they had them in their desk drawer, and so they just pull them out with their pens. I use gel pens.
Yeah,
I love them because you can get them like metallics and other colors. And they were pulling it out, and they were just using it for like 5 minutes to really focus on something other than their work, to take their mind off of their stresses. So they suggested that I try it, and I did, and it worked so well. Because
And how long have you been doing it now for?
Well, I've been doing it for about a couple of years, probably, yeah. It took my mind away from all the confusion, really, and being overwhelmed by putting together a lot of information. So I just got really meditative with the coloring.
And helped you organize your facts in a way you could lay them out better.
So I could go back to all that information and data, and then start thinking of it in a creative way.
Right.
Because now my right side of my brain is talking to my left side of the brain, you know.
And that's what this does, the coloring?
That's what it does. And you know, adult brains are different than children's brains.
Yes.
Children's brains are really concrete.
Oh.
That's why their coloring books are so simple. But adult brains are more abstract. They think along the grays, all the different shades of color, all the different shades of a problem. So as you're coloring and you're choosing,
I'm kind of zoned out, I will say.
Right? Do you
I'm
really
a little
get
zoned
into
out.
it?
I'm just
Good.
like,
Take your moment. You're working hard.
And
I'll
that's
handle
okay.
this.
That's good for you. You give your brain a little break from the normal, all the things that we have to think about as professionals, as women, as mothers, as caregivers. You know,
Doc, it's just
so
nice
great.
not to be looking at a screen sometimes.
Definitely.
You know, it
right?
just brings us back to the old
The
books and
paper,
pens.
and
I
you
always
can
love
feel it.
pen to paper.
But if you
as
don't
well.
have a coloring book or pens with you, there are apps.
What apps do you like?
Well, there's I think it's called happy.com.
Yes.
And you can color with either your
your
stylus or
stylus?
your finger.
Oh.
Yeah.
So how long would we do this each day for?
You can do it for as long as you want.
As long as you want.
You can do it for 5 minutes, you can do it for 2 minutes, you could do it for half an hour, you could do it for an hour, however long you want to. And it's right there, you know, sometimes, like especially with the holidays coming up and Thanksgiving, sometimes you can't leave your home because you've got people around, you've got kids to take care of, but you can take out and you need a break. You can take out your coloring book and just kind of color with them, or while they're cooking or somebody's setting the table, just take a little mental health break for yourself, right, for 5 minutes.
But it really is
and it's so pretty.
connecting right
I
to
know.
left brain.
It really is.
And making that work. Doctor, thank you. I think we both feel more relaxed.
Yeah. Do I have to do the weather?